Hey, what's up, guys? Matt Ackerson here. I am the founder and CEO of AutoGrow.co, as you may already know. In this video, we're talking about how to up your conversion rate with landing page optimization, how to up your conversions with landing page optimization. And in fact, I'm going to give you not 9, not 10, but 11 tips and tactics for how to do that. All right, so these are broken up by copywriting, which we're going to do first, and then design, and then quality assurance. And when, so are these going to apply to you? When would you want to actually take action on what I'm about to give you? Well, if you're looking to create a landing page that is going to sell a product or service, or if you have an existing landing page that is a major kind of key component of your sales funnel. And I use that term broadly, since you should think of your sales funnel in sort of a holistic standpoint. You could have think of, sort of like an umbrella, and you can have kind of mini funnels within it. But in many cases, in many businesses, it can come down to one landing page. So that's what we're talking about. How do you make that landing page work as hard as possible, as efficiently as possible, to actually bring in sales and qualified leads for your business? So let's start with copywriting, number one. And as we go through these, I actually have an example ready, prepared, that I'm going to walk you through, that I think you'll find very helpful, and even help to illustrate some of the points that I'm making here. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to weave it in. Number one, speak with emotion and directly to your audience, or risk attracting the wrong audience, the wrong potential types of leads, clients, customers. So niching is, maybe you've heard it, depending on your level of experience, time and time again, but just that ability to picture your ideal prospect in front of you. Who is he or she? How does he or she identify themselves? As, I don't know, an agency, a freelancer, a coach. Do they identify based on the type of position that they are? What kind of C-level executive are they typically? Are they an HR, the hiring manager? What is their title? How do they identify themselves? Because when you can speak on the level of identity, that makes your copywriting more persuasive. Okay, because people, if they can see themselves in the copy on the page, they're more likely to believe, hey, this is a solution tailored for me. It's not some generic thing. Number two, put your finger on the pulse of your audience's problems and agitate those pain points. So I like to use the metaphor of, you stick the knife in and then you twist it. In other words, you call out what the problem is that people are looking to solve. What's the problem that they're looking to solve? So you stick the knife in and then you twist it, meaning you agitate it. You get into the gory details. All right, pun, I guess, sort of intended there. You talk about how it. You don't just call it a headache. You don't just call it, oh, it's costing you X amount of money. You talk about the emotional component to it. You talk about the amount of time that's wasted. You quantify it as much as possible. You add third-party research. You can even, especially, tell the story. You want to tell the story of the prospect back to him or herself. Okay, because that's, again, where the prospect can kind of connect, not kind of, but they can connect with what you're saying. And there's a switch that flips where it's like, okay, I got to keep reading this. This person's talking about me, right? And that's what people are interested in, right? They're interested in themselves, and it's normal. It's human. We want to solve our own problems, right? And I'm interested in you if you can help me to solve a problem for me, for my business, etc. Okay, that's number two. Number three, introduce the solution your prospects need to solve their problems. In other words, your product or service. Now, this is kind of obvious, and we've talked about this in other videos, and we have a resource that's part of the AutoGrow's 6-figure sales funnel training, which you can find. It's a training product on AutoGrow's website. Go to autogrow.co/marketplace if you want to check that out. and learn more about that and possibly enroll. It's a really great resource. But one of the resources in there is a landing page template, all right, where we go through kind of like the exact formula that we have used. It's a timeless formula again and again and again with all of our clients and with our own business. And it just always works. It always works. And so we start with the problem, agitate, and then solution. Okay, so you just want to spell it out in very clear language. What are you offering to people? And we recently updated our copy with this because we kind of figure out like how to describe AutoGrow in a really clear way. So for example, if you were to go to our homepage, at least as of when this video is being recorded, and you would scroll down a little bit, you would see a sub-headline that said AutoGrow. It's like project management software, but with proven pros, proven professionals, copywriters, designers, developers, strategists, already inside, ready and waiting to receive tasks and get work done for you, right? So it's like project management software with proven pros, copywriters, designers, developers, strategists, already inside, ready and waiting to get work done for you. And when you write your own solution statement, feel free to use an analogy. Analogies aren't terribly persuasive, but in terms of explaining new ideas, they're incredibly effective. And so since that we've actually updated our copy, and especially this subheadline, we have seen our sales and our conversions go up because people understand, oh, wow, like that's pretty cool. Like I want to check this out, and more people sign up. All right, so number 4 is don't make your copy work harder and don't make it longer than it needs to be. And so now I'm going to show you an example of this. It's actually from one of someone that recently got in touch with us through email and was looking for help with her landing page. So let me go ahead and share the screen. Okay, so this is Lillian, and I'm not going to give away the name of her site in case she wants to keep it private, but I don't think she'll mind in either case, since since we're all figuring it out. I mean, let's be honest. We're always optimizing. Everyone's always learning. But for example, there's actually just want to show you guys. There's kind of like this initial step when you first come to her website, and her goal is to increase sales for her initial tripwire. You could call it kind of the initial inexpensive info product for $37. But there's this initial page that I have to actually click on, and the whole thing is an image. And I didn't realize actually when I first came to this page that something about the fact that it was an entire image distracted me, and I was like, okay, I don't want to click on this. So anyway, that's kind of that introduces what you would call friction into the process. And so you could actually just increase conversions by maybe just even making the homepage be the actual product. Or if you're directing people somewhere, like don't make them take an extra step. Don't make them click on an extra button, for example. All right. So here is an example to illustrate the other point that I was just talking about a second ago, meaning don't make you don't need your copy on your landing page to work harder than it and be longer than it needs to be, in other words. So for example, if in this case, we're talking about a $37 product, we don't need it to be a 2,000 word page with, this many different sections. And I mean, there's what in sales funnel physics, the framework that we've developed at AutoGrow, one of the key laws is the law of clarity, meaning the more clear something is and the easier it is for people to understand it, the more likely they are to buy, right? But there's kind of a limit to it, I think, in terms of diminishing returns, where, like, and as you'll see with another point in the design section coming up that also relates to this, it's you can go overboard, especially for a price point, So I think in this case, what's being accomplished in 2,000 words could be accomplished just as well in 750, 800 words, and effectively grow sales. All right. So that's an example for you of that idea. Now let's get into design. So number 5 use as many real photos as possible to avoid using stock photos. The reason why you want to do this, as I learned, I thought it was like a really interesting observation from putting together one of our other products called the Proven Sales Conversion Pack, which is basically like a library of case studies showing different conversion rates. And these are like credible case studies because like some A/B tests that are out there online, they're very, they only test to like, I don't know, 85, 90% statistical confidence. So you don't really know if they're trustworthy. And other people talk about conversions, but they're very anecdotal. But these are actually like, like tested, and we collected all of them, simplified them. I wrote an analysis of each one. And then I put together a series of videos to go with it to kind of extract like what are the biggest kind of conversion patterns and lessons learned. And it's like, total in terms of content, it's like over 70,000 words, not counting the content from the videos. So anyway, one of the key patterns was using real photos, because consumers are just getting more and more sophisticated, and we're smart. Okay, we can sniff out anything that feels like just a little bit commercial to us. So if you show us like a stock photo of like a guy in a suit with a thumbs up, or like a whole team and they're dressed in suits, thumbs up, and we've seen that photo on 50,000 other websites, yeah, we're not going to take your brand as seriously, or your offer or your website, compared to an image of the founder, even if it's even if it's not, if it's clearly like just the founder instead of like a team of stock photo people, right? So anyway, you get the point there. Use real photos. Authenticity sells, and it works, and people connect with it more. Number 6, under design again. Text has readability. It's easy to read it with a great contrast. So in other words, if you're putting black text on like a red background, that black could potentially blend in really easily. Just try to keep it simple. White background with black text is really simplest and probably the best way to go, generally speaking. So just keep it simple, right? Don't have to make it too complicated. And what is the purpose of that? Just gonna make it easier for people to read. You're lowering the friction, law of friction, again, from Autogro's laws of sales funnel physics. And another way that you can increase the ease with which people can read is by increasing the font size. When in doubt, just increase the font size. I think ours is 16-point font on our blog, and there are a lot of people out there too that are above a certain age, and/or that just have glasses. So again, law of friction, move that bar down and down and down. Number 7, under design again, use bright and high contrasting call to action buttons that stand out. Avoid using passive colors. So I'm going to go back to the example of Lillian here, and I want to show you this one in particular. And by the way, while I'm pulling that up, something I want you to know is just use the acronym BABS, B-A-B-B-S, when you think of how to design effective call to action buttons. So B, big, BABBS stands for big ass bold button. So obviously big should be sizable on the page. And if I share the screen here. So obviously we got that going on in this case, and that's good. Bold, okay, it's bold, it stands out. But in terms of contrast, in terms of the color choice especially, like I was saying, it's not so effective. And the reason for that is because the color of the button is red, which is good. Red, yellow, green usually are going to get you the highest conversions in terms of click rate. But the problem is that red is used pretty much all over the place throughout the rest of the page. And this takes away what I call conversion energy from that button. What I mean by that is that it's not as bold. It doesn't stand out as much because, hey, many other elements on the page are also red, for example. Okay, and finally, BABBS, big S, bold, and finally buttons. It should be clearly recognizable as a button. So this one has rounded corners. I think I saw another one on this page where the corners were kind of sharp though, and it felt kind of flat. It's good that it's actually responsive when you hover over it. It does something, whether it jumps or the color changes. That's good. I mean, I recommend though is actually make it super round, super round. But at the very least, rounded corners so that it's easier for people to see it as a button that's clickable. But in my experience, I think it's easiest if you actually make it completely round. So maximum radius effect on the corners. Number 8, the design. Finally, it's not about the design. The design, you see it and it's deployed in a way that amplifies the message of the copy. All right, it amplifies the message of the copy. And to go back to the example, share. So what I find from kind of skimming over this page is, I mean, there are some inconsistencies in terms of font size and layout, but in general, it kind of feels complex. So the design itself is distracting, and because it's distracting, it takes the focus off the message, which is, okay, what is exactly being sold to me? Why is it valuable? What's inside? And just answering those kind of fundamental questions, right? So again, the design, it should be, when in doubt, keep it simple, keep it minimalist, and there are just many design elements here, and sometimes my eye is just not sure where to look because of that design inconsistency. So hopefully that is helpful and explains that point to you. Design should be about the copy, amplifying the message. The design should not be about the design, because again, we're not designing to hang it in a museum. We are designing it for performance. We want it to sell for us. And finally, quality assurance now. Let's run through these real quick. Number 7, all opt-in forms work and redirect to the right pages. Sounds obvious, but this, if it's not working, this is an example of a zero multiplier. Same thing with the next point, number 8. All buttons redirect to the right pages, right? In other words, the links are linked to the right places. The forms are redirecting to the right places. Because otherwise, people are not going to get what they expect to get. There's going to be just a disconnect in terms of their expectations and what you actually deliver to them, or where you actually take them on your website, on your landing page, within your funnel. Okay, the flow needs to make sense. Otherwise, you have what's called a zero multiplier, meaning that anything multiplied by 0 is 0, meaning you'll probably lose the sale. Okay, you'll lose people's interest and attention. Number 9, all landing pages are mobile optimized. Most people check your website from their phones. Okay, so actually, let me revise that. Not most. I believe that it's somewhere in the range of 40%, but that's been growing by. It depends on your industry, depends on your market, but a significant percentage. I think it's like 30% for AutoGrow's website, actually. So it depends on your market and all that, but you want to be aware of it, and you always want to have a mobile first approach to the design of your landing pages. And this is something that we've had to learn time and time again. We launch something, it's like, oh man, it doesn't look perfect on mobile. The thing is overlapping the other thing. So, but always include that as part of your checklist. And by the way, if you want the full checklist for how to increase conversions with landing page optimization, check out the full article. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link is in the description. You can download a copy of it. And same thing if you're watching this on AutoGrow, just scroll down. You can also download, opt-in to download a copy of it. And finally, bonus is do a user test. You can get friends, family, your mom, your uncle, your dad, your brother, your sister. Just have one of them actually sit down and say, listen, and just literally shut up and listen. Say whatever is kind of going through your mind as you go through this page, and and just imagine that you are in the target market, and here's who they are. And to the best of your ability, just say kind of like what questions you have and what's kind of going through your mind, and if anything makes sense or doesn't make sense, and just honestly just be quiet and listen. um, I used to call this in the past the mom test. And I think I actually once did this test on my mom when I was like in college and taking some sort of a info science, computer science course. It was part of the task. And she actually gave some really good recommendations. Um, the idea is that you are too close to it. Okay, you are too close to it. You need to hear what another human being who may not be in the market or may not be as technically savvy necessarily. What are they going to say about it? Because they are more in the mindset of what an actual prospect will be, which is impatient. They just want to get to the point right now. What's going on? What's going on? What's this about? How's it valuable to me? I just want to get this done. So girlfriends, boyfriends are also great for doing that. Spouses. So anyway, that's it. That's all 11 items. And yep, all 11 items from for how to actually grow your conversions with landing page optimization. So take those to heart, take action on them to actually get results, and you'll get results, because that's the difference between success and not succeeding, is taking action on what you're learning. And if you want to learn more about AutoGrow, by the way, go to autogrow.co, and you can see how AutoGrow, you can just delegate your digital marketing tasks. And if you want help specifically with your landing pages, whether you're creating one, whether you want to create an ad campaign to drive traffic to one, whether you want to create an entire sales funnel, with AutoGrow, you can delegate your digital marketing tasks and projects to us without the headaches of hiring. All right, without the headaches of hiring. Because let's face it, it is a headache when you try to build your own team. It's also very expensive. And AutoGrow, by comparison, saves you all that headache, and it's a fraction of the cost. So it saves you a lot of money as well. Again, AutoGrow, it's like project management software with proven pros, copywriters, designers, developers, strategists, already inside, ready and waiting to get work done for you. It's really cool. You log in, type some notes. Here's what I want to accomplish. I want ads. I want landing page. I want emails. I want my automation tweaked. I want this image on my page tweaked. I want my WordPress updated, whatever. And type some notes on what you want, maybe include an example. Click the button that says make it real, and sit back, relax, and watch as it comes to life, as we get the work done for you. And you can see it with a progress bar in real time going from 0 to 100%. And that's it. That's how it works. It's really cool, really useful. It saves you a lot of time and a lot of headache. So check it out, autogrow.co. And if you're more the do-it-yourself type, you want to learn, check out some of our online trainings and courses via autogrow.co/marketplace. All right, so until next time, check out those links, take action on the tips that I gave you in this article, and as always, keep converting and stay focused. I'll talk to you soon.